Hey, what's your Hogwarts house? Those of us who grew up following the Harry Potter saga probably know this question all too well. In the magical world of Harry Potter, students are sorted into one of four houses based on the qualities they possess when they first arrive at the wizard school of Hogwarts. But what if I told you a sorting ceremony like this occurs in the real world too? Okay, so maybe not as magically, but let's consider the case of one of Canada's most iconic large mammals, caribou. Caribou are a species of deer that's found in both North America and Europe, but my graduate research focuses specifically on caribou in Western Canada, where certain populations are in decline, mostly because of human-induced change and habitat loss, to the point that the species is actually at risk of extinction. Because of this, biologists have come up with a sorting ceremony for caribou. But rather than being sorted into houses, caribou are organized into so-called designatable units, or DUs for short. These DUs then get their respective designations for how at risk of extinction they are. Some can be endangered or threatened, while others deemed not much of a conservation concern. But how does the caribou sorting hat, which in this case is really a collection of conservationists, know which caribou to group together? We can't just say, hey, let's put all of our smartest or bravest caribou in this DU. The actual process considers quite a bit of factors, including differences in color variation, behavior, movement patterns, diet, and most relevant to me, genetics. My research acknowledges that genetics can play a huge role in determining certain caribou characteristics. By looking at a caribou's DNA, we can actually tell what sort of environment it's best adapted to, and also which other caribou can be sorted into the same DUs based on genetic similarities. Previous caribou genetic research in Western Canada hasn't really happened on such a large regional scale. So my research can make the overall process of caribou sorting more efficient, but also more accurate. If we think back to how different DUs get different labels for how at risk of extinction they are, it's clear that getting the sorting right can impact how severe of a label specific caribou get, depending on which DU they belong to. Therefore, any management decisions that come as a result as well. And if you're familiar with the Harry Potter sorting ceremony, there's one other important detail the sorting hat considers when placing students into their houses. It delves into their minds to determine what type of environment is best for them to grow in along their wizarding school journey. The parallel here is that caribou can't obviously communicate their needs to us. It's up to conservationists to make these decisions that will best promote caribou survival, and wildlife and Harry Potter enthusiasts like me to help them along their way.